Hello dear students, how are you? I hope all of you would be fine. Today in this video lecture we are discussing about hawk roosting. This is the third poem of Ted Hughes in our syllabus that we are discussing now, and in previous lectures we discussed about the other poems of Ted Hughes. If you haven't watched those video lectures, you can subscribe the channel by clicking on this subscribe button under this video screen, and then you will be able to watch those video lectures of other two poems, right? In this video lecture we are going to discuss and analyze the whole poem Hawk Roosting by Ted Hughes. First of all, we will see the introduction of the poem, and then we will analyze the text. Line by line analysis of the text will be done later on in this video lecture. First of all, we will see the introduction. Hawk Roosting is a poem that puts the reader into the imagined mind of a hawk about to rest up for the day. It's a monologue of a raptor given the powers of human thinking, thus personified. Actually here this is the monologue. The personification is done of between the human being and the hawk, the bird hawk, right? And the bird hawk is talking to himself. This is a kind of monologue. It is the speaker of the poem. It is a typical Ted Hughes animal poem, being unsentimental and unromantic. As we discussed earlier in the last lecture, that he has a lot of inclination towards the animals and birds, Ted Hughes, right? In the first poem we discussed about fox and then jaguar, and this is the poem Hawk Roosting. It is about hawk, right? The poet concentrates on the dominance of the hawk as it sits in the wood, reflecting on its raison d'etre. What is it and what it does? Being at the top of the food chain, this bird's instinct is to hunt down quarry, the prey. Its prey is called quarry. It lives by the deaths of other creatures. It kills in order to survive. It means that his survival is based upon his prey. He kills the other creatures for his food, for his survival. It has no enemies except perhaps for humans, so it does not fear life at others' creature. Further down the chain fear it. Inspired by the rawness of the natural world, the speaker does not shy from the explicit description. Some lines in the poem cause controversy because of their direct depiction of the hawk's instinctive behavior. Instinctive behavior refers towards the natural desire of an animal, of a bird, right? That like a human being, it has also the instinct. That hawk kills the other creatures for his survival, same like the human beings who sometimes put harm to other human beings for his own benefit, right? This is the similarity that is being drawn between the humans and the animals by the poet Ted Hughes. Now we will move towards the text of the poem and the line by line analysis with that. Stanza 1. I sit in the top of the wood, my eyes closed. In action, no falsifying dream between my hooked head and hooked feet, or in sleep rehearse perfect kills and eat. The first line is pure innocence. Here is the hawk setting down for a night's sleep at roosting time. The position he holds is secure at the top of the wood, overseeing all. One thing is for certain. This hawk has a mind of its own. I can think like a human can, right? There is the similarity between the hawk and the hawk. The second line gets the reader thinking too. That long four-syllable word, falsifying, has repercussions. At this early stage, there is no context for this word, which means to mislead, but it points towards a comparison with humans, who are prone to misleading one another. The bird is a pure raptor, can't be anything else. This was the thing that I was telling to you people in the introduction. This is very important idea, that it points out towards a comparison with humans, who are prone to mislead one another. Look at this highlighted, that I highlighted now. It points out towards a comparison with humans who are prone to misleading one another, that they can put harm to one another for their benefit, right? Enjambment leads to line 3 and the repeated hooked, just to emphasize that this hawk is physically impressive and sharp, and those hooked features might be called into action if the hawk falls asleep. Subconscious perfection of future hunts and kills. The whole scenario is being presented that the hawk, this bird, is very much active and clever toward his prey, for hunting the other creatures, same like the human beings, who are every time ready for for taking any advantage of the weaknesses of other people, right? This is the similarity between the hawk and the human beings in this poem. Understood? Now we move towards the next stanza. Stanza number 2. Stanza number 2. The convenience of the high trees, the air's buoyance, and the sun's ray are the advantage to me, and the earth's face upward for my inspection. Analysis of the stanza 2 is, the hawk has it all worked out, from the tree to earth. His physicality suits. His physicality suits. According to the suitability of his physique, he is moving from up to down, right? Being high up means sometimes he goes from up to down, and sometimes from down to up. Being high up means that there is an overview, a natural domination. The air's buoyancy, upward force, and warmth are there to be taken advantage of. Even the earth is facing the right way, so close inspection comes as a given. According to the poet, the bird hawk is going high, and there is the dominancy of that bird over all other birds. This bird has been given a natural dominance, right? And this is the advantage given to him by nature, that he is dominated over all other creatures and he is flying high in the sky, and every other creature is under his dominance and in its excess. Stanza 3. My feet are locked upon the rough bark. It took the whole of creation to produce my foot, my each feather. Now I hold creation in my foot. According to the poet, there is the focus on the feet again, as they are closely tied around the bark of the tree on which the hawk is sitting. Note the first lines of 5 of the stanzas are complete within themselves and stopped. This means certainty and gives immediate control. Every first line of all the stanzas is having complete idea, and they are stopping. The ideas are stopping. As you have observed that, for example, in this stanza number 3, there is the full stop at the end of the first line. In all of the stanzas, there is the idea is stopping in the very first line. It means that a complete control over the idea, that the dominance and the perfection of that animal is being presented in the first line, right? The theme of mastery continues, this time introducing the idea of whole of creation being within the grasp of this extremely dominant figure. Whole of creation. Whole of creation. This idea is really important. Line number 10 to 12 are a focal point in the poem, for they suggest that creation itself was involved in the making of this hawk. At that now the roles are reversed, so to speak, it's the hawk that is holding creation, becoming the master of all. Creation means the creatures of the whole universe created by Allah Almighty, right? They are actually hawk, as I told you, that hawk has been symbolized as a human being. So here is the idea that all other creatures are controlled by or for the benefit of the human beings. Like that, the other birds that are flying are controlled by that hawk. Okay? The question has to be asked, is this the creation of a creator or the creation of evolution, where the fittest only survive? This is really a thematic content, right? That whoever wants to survive, he has to control the other creation. This is the whole phenomena of the modern life is concluded in this line, right? Now I hold creation in my foot. Now I hold creation in my foot is emphasizing the idea that the powerful human beings are controlling the weak ones. Like that, the hawk is a powerful animal and it is controlling the other weaker birds and animals, right? This is the thing that is being focused by the poet through the life, through the characteristics of hawk. Stanza number 4. Or fly up and revolve it all slowly. I kill where I please, because it is all mine. There is no sophistry in my body. My manners are tearing off heads. So really impressive, really important stanza. The perspective changes as the hawk continues its monologue, which is not a dream as we know it, but a live commentary. Now the hawk is flying. Hawk is flying, watching the earth revolve as it makes its way up and up in readiness for a kill. That all important four letter word that first popped up in the opening stanza is here again. Kill, I kill. Kill is very important word that the hawk wants to kill, right? He just keeps on killing, right? That act which is so common and normal in predator's world, yet it is so shocking and hard to handle in the human world. This is killing with impunity. The hawk has to hunt. It knows no other way, and in the poem, this fact is expressed with a certain coldness. The language is spare yet full of arrogance and fierceness. Everything belongs to the hawk when it is up in the air and ready to kill. There is no deception, no going back, heads are torn off. It means that when hawk is in the air, everything is in its control. Like that, the human beings, the powerful human beings, when they are in power, they become cruel and they exploit the poor. Right? This is the central point of the poem, that is the phenomena being observed in the modern world. Stanza 5. The allotment of death. For the one path of my flight is direct. Through the bones of the living, no arguments assert my right. The analysis of this stanza is: the hawk deals out appropriate deaths. That is the purpose of the unwavering path when it is about to strike through the bones. Through the bones, a rather terrifying yet effective phrase. There are no doubts, questions, or debates of opinion one way or the other. Fact is fact. It's the whole thing. Nothing can get in the way of the hawk's instinctive actions. It kills without malice. The bird, world's permission are non-existent. Environmental guidelines do not apply. According to this, that he is the hawk is completely free for hunting the other creatures. When he is on the fly, he can create death for all other creatures. He has to hunt, he has to find his prey, and no rules apply in his way. Understood? So this is very pathetic condition, and through this the condition, the mentality of the powerful people of the modern world are being presented, right? That they only focus on their own benefit, and they can kill the poor, the weaker persons for their own benefit. Now the last stanza 6. The sun is behind me. Nothing has changed since I began. My eyes has permitted no change. I am going to keep things like this. This last stanza sums up the hawk's attitude to life and death. In one sense, it is a pure ego that is speaking, undiluted, pure, true to itself. Having given the hawk a human voice, Ted Hughes brings the raptor into the world of Homo sapiens, that most developed of animals, the most sophisticated able to able to consciously decide between the moral and the immoral. According to the poet, hawk cannot change. Its purpose cannot be disturbed by any rule of nature. It has to go forward. The sun is behind him. Nothing can change his way. It is going, and there is any no rule can be applied for his actions, right? He has to go. I am going to keep things like this. It means that the powerful creatures, whether it is a bird, whether it is an animal, or whether there are the human beings of the modern society, they have to go unchanged. They have to keep on their actions according to their own wishes, right? The conclusive analysis of the poem is that Hughes personifies a hawk. He describes it as a survivor and a killer. He compares the hawk's freedom to act on instinct with the way we are ruled by thoughts, arguments, and regulations. He actually, hawk, kills for his survival. Same like that, the people in the modern world are killing the others for their own survival. The attitude in the poem is Hawk's attitude is arrogant. Its tone is menacing, confident, absolute, and boastful. The hawk sees itself as like a king or a god or an executioner. Hughes' attitude is more difficult to tell. He leaves the poem open for the reader to decide on how to react to this fierce spirit. Could we just laugh at the small hawk's grand, deluded view of itself? This is a really important question. You have to think upon it, dear students. This is really important. The style of the poem. Almost every image refers to the hawk's control and confidence. Everything revolves around the hawk. Look at the number of times I, me, and my is used. These three words are very important in the poem. These words show the ego, the features of egoism in the character of hawk. There are lots of short, factual sounding statements in the poem and a lot of full stops. These help to convey the bird's certainty. It is very certain and sure about its you can say the purpose, about its desires, about his wishes, about it is feeling a superior something. It is feeling superiority about himself over all other creatures. So hawk is the symbol of the modern man, modern society's powerful people who are very much arrogant, and the characteristics, the attitude, as we have discussed here in the conclusive analysis, that the characteristics of the hawk, for example, you can say that when he is arrogant, right? Same is the characteristic of the modern society's powerful persons, right? They are very much confident and boastful towards their superiority over the poor, right? Look at this line which I am highlighting. This: the hawk sees itself as like a king or a god or an executioner. this is a significant idea of the modern society that is being presented in the modern poetry, right? So you have to keep all these things in your mind, right? So it is very obvious that the poet is very open towards exploring the characteristics of the modern society, right? And it is really significant to highlight that Ted Hughes has inclination towards exploring these characteristics through animals and birds, right? In the previous poems that we read, Ted Hughes firstly talked about the fox, then jaguar, and different other animals in the zoo, and in this poem, he has discussed hawk. So it shows that he has very much inclination, and he is very much attracted towards the use of animal imagery in his poetry. Animal imagery in the poetry of Ted Hughes is a significant aspect. There may be the questions in your final exams regarding this point, and also you can be asked in your interviews whenever you go for some in professional life. You go to some interviews for the Public Service Commission and any university. So animal imagery in the poetry of Ted Hughes is really important, right? So I hope this all the concepts that we have discussed in this poem you would have learned all the concepts clearly, and you have to prepare it for your exams. And if you have missed the previous lectures, do subscribe the channel, and those videos will be visible for you in your YouTube. And whenever you come again on the YouTube, next videos will be visible for you. Do subscribe the channel and be in touch with it for more informative and educational videos. Thank you very much, and good luck to you for your exams. Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much.